Hey, all you cats and kittens out there. It's that animosity-filled animal you admire so adamantly. Abyssinian. Now I know I've been away for some time, and for that, I am sincerely sorry. Navigating the intergalactic airways is always a daunting task, especially for one with a fugitive status in 6 worlds pending a 7th. But you needn't ponder those pretty little heads of yours anymore. I've clawed out a cozy little cove for myself for the time being, and as long as I'm able, I'll be accessing these airways to keep you informed and awake. Now, some of you may suspect that you've never seen me before, and you'd be right. I only ever seem to make chance meetings with some unchosen few. But I hope you trust this stranger has good intentions at heart. I've stared into the abyss and seen injustice in more worlds than I can count. And although our worlds may differ, our experiences are eerily similar. Injustice in any world follows a predictable pattern. And that is why I pull back the veil for you, bit by bit, and show you that you're not alone. Or maybe wake you up to a world you may not know. Well, tonight's story begins with the winds of winter whipping up a storm. It's late December, and our hero of the day is enjoying some newfound freedom from their overprotective parents. It's their first year at college, and young and dumb and looking for fun, our hero has never before been on their own. They're new to the area and in desperate need of some friends. Thankfully, that need didn't persist too long. Our hero found camaraderie from a like-minded individual. We'll call them V. Now at this point, V and our hero have known each other for a little bit. Spent some time in class together, saw a movie or two, even attended some parties. Our hero was especially fond of parties, as they'd never had the privilege before. But as winter was winding up, it seemed as though parties were winding down. Kids were spending time studying for finals instead of getting smashed. Not quite ready to give up the taste of freedom our hero had come to know, they asked V to find a party for the weekend. V returned not long after with some promising news. A party in her neck of the woods. That night, V and our hero crammed themselves into V's car and began the long drive up the mountain. V lived in a small mountain town and commuted an hour or so each way to college. The sun was down and there was snow on the ground by the time they arrived, though they were not greeted with any wanted sights. The house was dark, and not much seemed like it was happening. But it was still early, and our hero was hopeful. Maybe things could still pop off. That hope didn't last once our hero walked through the door. It turned out the party our hero found was just a handful of kids in an empty house, and a fifth or so of rum for sharing. 10 kids, the oldest of them around 16, in a house with no furniture, was not the scene they were hoping for. V and our hero heaved a heavy sigh, took a swig of rum, and retreated back to the car to sleep off the disappointment. Neither of them wanted to go home, but they certainly weren't going to stay here. The night was long and more or less sleepless. V was in the front, our hero in the back. The kids, rowdy off cheap booze and hormones, raged through the night, periodically harassing our forlorn hero and their companion. After some time, our hero did drift off into a twilight sleep, half drunk, half asleep, wholly unhappy. They were greeted by an aggressive rapping on the window, followed by a blinding light. Our hero's first thought was that the kids found a flashlight as their latest toy for harassment. Fed up with this, and desperate for some rest, our hero opened the door to tell off the kids. Once the door was opened, however, our hero heard the tail end of a sentence. Out of the car. Confused, tired, and just done with the world, our hero muttered compliance, along with mumbling something about retrieving their phone. That wouldn't last long, though. For the second our hero's hand reached for their cell phone, a cacophony rang out. Show me your hands. Hands up. Let's see those fucking hands. Muscle memory took over as adrenaline shot through our hero's veins. Their hands anchored high above their head. They felt the sea of appendages pull them violently from the automobile. A pack of pigs had found their way to our hero and decided to drag them to the curb. No longer half asleep or half drunk, but mostly naked and sat on a curb in a cold winter night. The gravity of the situation began to sink in. For the next 2 hours, the pigs questioned our hero. The pigs denied our hero several requests to retrieve their pants, or a shirt, or even a blanket. They were left shivering violently in the cold, the whole time being berated by those power-hungry, pitiful police. The pigs said the stories just didn't line up between V and our hero. They were separate accounts, and that is why it took so long. But our hero didn't buy that line of bullshit. They knew it was because they were an androgynous, anarchist artist in a small conservative town, and these piggies thought they could play with our little party animal and maybe turn them into prey. After many a sentence through gritted teeth and big tongues, our hero was dismissed, free to go on their way without so much as a ticket. And in this scenario, our hero was quite lucky. Who knew what would have happened if they weren't white and from a well-off family? Now remember, my cats, kittens, and various party animals, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. I share these stories to show you the experience, to inspire change, or simply give you rage. Our hero tonight was lucky, but they shouldn't have to be lucky. No young party animal should be berated, abused, or left out in the cold. Take care, cats and kittens, and take care of each other.